Business leaders and intellectual business community, we continue our discussion today. Does a CEO network really work? And we learn from the experience from Jan Vistisen. He's the Executive Director of Executive Global Network Singapore. We want to learn from his experience as a network coordinator or network, facilitator, to see the point of view of the members, how the members can benefit, and what kind of members fit into the certain kind of network. We have an audience that wants to ask questions or giving statements. Please, Pak Rohim.
Okay, thank you, Pak Rohim. Mr. Dian, you said that in this network there are personal sharing and ensure the confidentiality matters
yes.
amongst the members. How is the conduct and the rules amongst the members to ensure this condition?
Okay, good question. So before we end the second session, we talk about how the experience of how a CEO or a person shared their plan to the fellow members before they presented it to the boss, and we talk about confidentiality. So Pak Rohim asked, how is the conduct of every meeting of the network so that it can contains the confidentiality and also that can facilitate the exchange of diverse skills of and knowledge.
Confidentiality is extremely important because unless you can trust that what you say stays within the room, people are not going to ask questions and they're not going to volunteer information.
So did you have a kind of confidentiality agreement?
We discussed that in Singapore, and I asked the members when we started, you have two choices. You can sign a confidentiality agreement or you can trust each other. And they all looked around the room and they said, we are all senior business people. You know the rule of the game. We pay good money to be a member here. And we come in voluntarily, and there's no competitors around. So, no, we don't need to sign a confidentiality
so the key is there's no competitor inside the group.
No competitor.
I see.
And also the members are part of selecting new members.
All right.
So when we have a group established and we would like to add a new member, we ask permission from the group first. So if for some reason there is a problem, then that new member will not come in. That way we keep the integrity of the group. That's very important. And of course, we say to every new member up front, you have to understand this is a confidential forum.
Right.
Because only by keeping that confidentiality can you get people to ask the real question.
So, what is, specifically, when a meeting happens? What is what's the program?
We meet. Every group meets 6 times every year, and each meeting is for half a day. So it's not just for a cup of coffee or for lunch, it's a proper working meeting. And we always start at 8:30, we have a cup of coffee and we talk and network. And at 9 o'clock the chair of the meeting will call to order. And we always have a host who is one of our members, and the host will then talk about his own company and talk about his key challenges. What is really his major challenges in his business? And then we spend about 45 minutes discussing his business. That's one way to get knowledge, to learn how you can do things better in your company. The next stage is for new members introduce themselves. They give a small presentation and say, this is my challenges and this is my career. And then we have a coffee break. Then people need to talk again and network. And then we go into the second phase of the meeting where we always have a speaker on a specific topic. The members may say, we want to understand about carbon trading. Okay, then we'll go and find an expert on carbon trading to come in and make a presentation. And at the end of that presentation, we have a discussion. What does that mean to my company?
All right.
What should I do different? Or should I do something different? And that's also how you learn to deal with new topics. Then around 12 o'clock, we say thank you very much to our guests. And then we go around the table and we ask every member, what's new in your business? What happens in your business? What kind of challenges do you have? And then we close the meeting at 12:30 with a sandwich.
All right.
So there's a mixture of discussions, presentations, and Q&A.
So Ian, according to survey, people need time to build trust one to another. How do you see this in your meetings? I mean, particularly for new members who join in, usually how long does it take? How many meetings does it take before you can sense that the members are, open to each other already? I mean, trusting each other at a certain levels.
I would say it takes 2 to 3 meetings
Okay.
for people to settle down.
Uh-huh.
The first meeting, they have to figure out what is this all about, how
Right.
does it work, how does other people behave. But then, of course, they get to do their own presentation, and that relaxes them a bit. But 2 to 3 meetings, then they are quite relaxed and open.
Okay. So what other efforts that you put in to build the trust between them?
The other thing we do is that we exchange a lot of the information, all the presentations, material, all that is uploaded to a member's website, which is password protected. So you as a member of a group can access that particular website, and all the presentations that have ever been given in your group is in there.
All right.
So this is another way where you can go back in time and say, well, there was an interesting presentation on a topic 6 months ago, I need it now. So you can actually access that information again.
Okay.
But it's all protected under your own password. And you cannot look into the other groups what they have. You can only see your own group what you have.
So it looks like these meetings are serious, Jens. I mean,
it's serious
it's business-like, and it's very, very deep. Do you also, having for the same members, do you also having a lighter one meetings, so that they can, more on the emotional side rather than the logical side?
Yeah, what happened when we started in Singapore, we started with 2 groups, and now we have 6 groups in Singapore. And the members started to say, well, Jan, how do we meet the other members of the other groups? Because there's some interesting people who would also like to meet. So what we do now is we organize 6 events every year. A breakfast talk, an evening on angel finance, or even a wine tasting evening, which are on a slightly lighter note, and they are all members are invited, and then they can network and talk to each other.
Okay. So yes, it looks like this network is pretty well organized, pretty well, set, and it is a product of I think 20 years of experience.
Yes.
So it must be, some entrance fee, or must be some fee to be paid, and other resources to be put in to be involved in your network, right? And also, do you select your members? I mean, are everybody interested in your network can be accepted, or you have selections procedures in which you select only certain people can join in? And what are the requirements? I mean, if you put it to loose, maybe then you want to get anything but getting nothing. But then if you put too high, then maybe only few people can join in, and the network doesn't run as well. How did you put in the middle?
Well, I mean, to become a member of EGN is a little bit expensive. It costs about 4,000 to 5,000 Singapore dollars every year.
Okay.
So this is for the serious networker. This is not for somebody who say, I may want to come, I may not want to come. This is for somebody who says, I want to do this, and I'm prepared to invest time and money in this. So basically the question you have to ask yourself is, if I invest 3 days of my time annually and 5,000 Singapore dollars,
3 days in 3 days in a year.
3 days in a year, 6 times half a day.
All right.
So altogether 3 days in a year and $4,800. How much benefit do you need to get out of that to make it pay for you? And I can't tell you the answer. What I can tell you is that every year our members need to renew the membership. And so far our renewal rate has been 75 to 80%, which I deduct as members gaining real benefit from the membership. Otherwise they would not continue.
So if you say that the annual membership is about 4,000 to 6,000 Sing dollar annually, and it consists 6 meetings. So one meeting, if we divide with meetings, one meeting is $1,000. Do you think that they think that's is too expensive, or?
You ask how we select members, and that of course is one criteria that would deselect a lot of potential members. So as I said, that means we only deal with the ones who have a real interest in this, and this is the key. If you have paid that kind of money to be in a group, you want to make sure the new members coming in are serious about networking. So it is somebody who has thought through, I want a personal network, I want this particular network, I'm prepared to invest my time and I'm prepared to invest my money.
All right.
People who understand that in networking, and I think that's for all networking, you get as much out of networking as you put in. If you don't put in an effort, you don't really get anything out of it.
I see.
So I think their numbers speak for themselves. Today in Singapore we have 75 members.
All right.
That we have built up over the last 2.5 years. And it keeps growing every month. We add new members.
Yeah. So at least there are 75 people in Singapore that don't think that it's too expensive, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and there are many, maybe there are many others that has not yet been exposed, that they don't know this, or they want to join but maybe not qualified enough to be your members. Okay, we will keep these discussions in the next segment. So business leaders and tractable business community, again we have to have a little break, and we will continue shortly after this. For you who wants to participate, please SMS to 0896 times 788. We see you in the next segment.